Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Clientology Daily Insights. For anybody who's keeping track, this is not literally one a day. I post as many as I can in a day, and I'm not expecting anybody to watch all of them. These are just my thoughts. And as I'm evolving the Clientology brand, I'm just sharing the things that we're finding that work. And so some days I might post three, some days I might not post any. This is meant for me to help me with my process. And I'd like you to all, if you're following this, watching this is what you can do as well, is think about how you can help your audience. So I post these genuinely. I don't care what they do for me. I care that they help somebody out. So if I help one person and this is how I do it, that's wonderful. So in this episode, I want to talk about the question, how does this apply to me? And this is probably one of my favorite questions. It immediately resonated with me when I first learned about it, but then reading books on neuroscience and doing a little bit of study and understanding the reality of it and the power of it has me really excited. So, one of my favorite questions whenever I encounter something new or novel or unique is I ask, how does this apply to me? And for the record, sometimes the answer is it doesn't. But usually there's something in it that I will learn, apply, adapt. So, for example, as you're watching the Clientology Daily Insights, ask yourself, how does this apply to me? And I'm going to tell you the power of this, and I'm going to give you a bit of the neuroscience behind it. But really, truly, when you ask your brain, how does this apply to me? It forces your brain to pause and to think about it and to consciously make the decision, does this apply, yes or no? So it's really powerful. And once you get in this habit, it makes brainstorming really powerful in a group setting because you're finding ideas. And instead of just creating a whole bunch of ideas that don't resonate or don't do anything, you're creating ideas that you can add to what you've already got, you can learn from it, and you can grow. So the science behind it, and again, I am not a neuroscientist. I am an accountant by training, and I do word of mouth and referral based marketing. I help people write books. So take the neuroscience with a grain of salt. Don't trust me. Go ahead and do your own research. One of my favorite books on the subject is I can't remember his last name, but the book is called The Idiot Brain, and his name is Dean something, and he is an actual neurosurgeon slash stand-up comedian. So imagine that. It's a great thing. He shares a lot of insight into the weird things our brains do, why we do the things we do. But basically, the way I understand the brain is if you go back too far in time and back to the days of cave people and things like that, novel, unique things usually meant danger. So the cracking of a branch, the roar of a saber tooth, but even something as mundane as looking at a new fruit or vegetable or berry or plant, if we didn't know it was safe, the only way to find out it wasn't safe was for somebody to try it and die. So our brains are hardwired to keep us safe and protect us from novel and unique experiences. So one of the things the brain does is it'll just, by default, we say no to things. Now, the other thing is there's so much stimuli around, the brain needed us to be able to react. So if we heard that tree branch snap in the dark, we needed to be ready to run. We needed to be ready for the fight, flight, or freeze response. So the brain cuts out all the extra stuff and it just gives us the very narrow fix. So when a novel idea comes at us in the modern world, we still ignore it, or we can easily walk past something and not notice it. I won't get into the actual parts of the brain and how it all works, but the short version is we are hardwired to reject new ideas. Literally, that is how we have survived as a species. It's how we survive as individuals. We focus on the things we know. We're all creatures of habit, so we're going to repeat the things we know work. Some people have figured out that going to the gym brings them pleasure, so they go to the gym more. Some people consume food, do other things. We're not always about seeking new experiences. Most of us focus on repeating the things we know to work. So when you use how does this apply to me, it makes your brain pause. And instead of automatically rejecting, at least we're consciously deciding. So we're taking it out of the unconscious, bringing it into the conscious. So think about how does this apply to me? So, as an example, you've just watched me talk about the question, how does this apply to me? How could you apply this question in your daily life? Me, as an example, every time I learn something new, every time I hear a new idea, I ask the question and then I try to figure out, does it apply to me? Yes or no? And if it does apply to me, then I spend some time thinking about how specifically. So I hope this helps, and I wish you all the best in growing your business and in your client getting activities. Thank you.